My husband and I tallied how much money we spent in 1 month eating out.
Is it bad?
It was so bad. Do you want to take a wild guess?
How much you spent for 1 month?
Takeout, DoorDash, going
DoorDash
out.
is so expensive.
DoorDash
Please
is...
Stop DoorDashing.
Yeah,
That is
we've
your number
stopped
one.
now.
Well, with DoorDash is involved, you're probably spending like $500 a month. More?
Welcome back to another episode of Dear Dilemma. On this episode, we're going to be discussing something that is probably the worst decision to ever make.
Possibly one of the biggest arguments you will ever have in your relationship or your family.
This
Could be
is
wrong.
Really, really serious
Actually,
stuff.
statistically, Hannah, what is this that we're getting ready to talk about? And what do you have for us from a survey?
Well, today we're going to be talking about
you ask?
picking a place to eat. It is the absolute worst.
The worst. The headaches it causes. The fights for no reason.
That and deciding what to eat for dinner. So, according to Google, the average couple will argue about 3 times a week over where to eat. It also takes 17 minutes of discussion to come up with a dinner plan, although 16% say it can take 30 minutes or more.
The accuracy. Thank you,
it's
Dr.
the
Google.
worst.
It is the worst. And we're going to try to figure out, obviously we'll talk about the dilemmas of it, which is simple. No one can agree on where to go, especially the more people in the party, the worst
Oh, yes.
it can get. And then how to solve it. What are some easy fixtures that A will be like, hey, we're doing this tonight. Great. And you're on the same page. And I think I have an idea for that. So what's it like, can I ask you, in your relationship?
This is the worst conversation ever. Do you know, so my husband and I will literally be texting, during the day.
Hours before dinner time.
Like, sometimes before lunchtime, and we're like, what do you want for dinner? Do you have any thoughts? I'm like, I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. I'm like, nothing sounds good. And then I'll give like recommendations. Like, do you think we should do Mexican, Italian, Mediterranean? I don't know. None of those sound good. Yeah, me neither. I don't know. It's the worst.
I think that, or like if you're cooking something, this can even go to cooking for dinner too.
Oh, yes.
Personally, in my relationship, I'm up early. My fiance works for himself, so there is no time for him to get up. So by the time he gets up, it's like almost lunchtime sometimes. And for me, if I'm making dinner, I need that meat to be picked and thawed out by 8:30 in the morning, 8 o'clock. So especially if you're slow cooking it, it's ready to go. It's thawed, right? Or depends.
Right, you got to plan ahead.
His answer almost all the time is, I don't know, I just got up. Nothing sounds good right now. And I'm like, no. So I have took it upon myself to just lay something out sometimes. Or a funny story, I have heard this on, I don't remember who it was, on the, what is it? We listen and we don't judge.
Oh, yeah.
Who was this? It was somebody that said this. And she said, sometimes when I don't feel like cooking, I just say, I forgot to lay out.
So the other person has to decide?
So the other person has to decide, or the other person has to decide what they want, which then makes it like, oh, okay, cool. And then you're on the same page.
That's kind of genius.
I'm going to do that.
So, like, do you, in those moments or whatever, when he can't decide what sounds good, what do you normally do? Like, do you just decide?
I lay something out. Or if I'm not in the mood to cook, I say, great, we're going to eat out somewhere tonight. I'll go pick it up, or we can go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Then that brings in where do you want to eat? And you sit there in the car, and I get to the end of my street, and I'm like, we need to know if we're going left or right.
Yes.
Because that really determines where you're going to end up at to eat.
It's so hard to make that decision. And I feel like there's certain things that I can go for all the time. Like Mexican.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
very rarely am I like, no, I don't want that. And if it's lunch, I always want McAllister's. I don't know why. Like, I have certain things that I just want.
And this could be, I mean, honestly, we have no problem on vacation. If we're on vacation, that whole where do you want to eat, it's like, let's go somewhere new, let's try this. Never an argument. At home, and I think it's because we live in a smaller town, we're limited on our options. And so it's not as interesting. Whereas, like, I have family that is in a bigger city, and they're always like, oh, we have this new place, it's really good. We just tried this new place. And I'm like,
there's unlimited options.
And we're stuck with the same places.
Yeah. We used to live in a bigger city, and I feel like we didn't argue as much because, you're right. Like, totally we just had more places to go and choose from and trying this new place and this new place. And
I also will say, too, I think ever since COVID happened, workers have gotten, like restaurant places, I just feel like they've gotten lazier, or the food is not as good as it used to be.
Service is horrible. People are mean.
Awful.
Like the waitresses waiters and waitresses are both actually kind of like rude too, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah.
More
and
so
as
than
a
they
server,
were.
I used to get rude sometimes, but that was because, guys, I was probably working a double. I was tired. I didn't want to be there. Yeah. Or I had homework from college, or I was stressed, and that is on me, and I apologize. However, if we are at your table and we are being nice and we're trying to bring you out of your funk and you're still being rude, we don't like that.
Yeah.
And then it makes our argument of where we wanted to eat even worse, because we finally agreed on some place after 20 minutes, and then you're rude. Or the food sucks. And then the bill is double the amount than what it used to be 3 months ago.
Then you got to do a 20% tip, and then it's just not fun.
Yeah.
Also, have you ever decided on something and then that place is closed? Or like they're too busy?
Yes. Okay, so over the summer we were really into that little hole-in-the-wall Mexican restaurant that's attached to the, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I was like, fine, because I'm a hit and a miss on Mexican food. Sometimes I'm like craving it, and then other times I'm like, I'll go and eat some chips and guac and call it a day because I'm just not in the mood.
Yeah.
Unless it's a fajita. I'm always down for a fajita. That place was open. I finally got onto their chicken burritos, and I was like, hey, I'm going to go pick this up. Great. I think he was working. I called him. I was like, hey, I'm going to just go get this, because that's another problem is, like, his schedule is just so crazy that you never know when he's going to be done. So you got to decide sometimes. It was closed. And then I'm like, well, they're closed. Or the one night I left from here and I went to go get Lee's, and the little AI thing was like, we're out of that. We're out of that. We're also out of that.
What do I do
we're
now?
out of that. And I was like, well, then what do you have? Can I get a biscuit?
Just give me some fried chicken and a biscuit.
So then you have to now come up with another game plan. Plan B.
It's the worst.
Awful.
One time we pulled into a parking lot of a restaurant. We were like, decided we were going here. And then we decided to leave because somebody cut my husband off. Like, he was literally going to like pull into the spot. And this chick comes and she just freaking guns it right in front of him and takes our spot. And he's like, that's it. Here. I'm going in. Because if I go in right now, I'm too bad.
Have you ever finally decided to go somewhere, and then you sit down and it's taking so long just for someone to come get your drinks that you're like, I'm good, we're leaving. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my mom and I decided to take my grandma out, probably like last month I think it was, and she's a fragile little thing anyways, and so like she also can't handle loud noises, and so we were like, oh, we'll go to Frisch's, which as a place that has gone downhill so bad, minus their cherry cokes. Other than that, they suck. And we went in, and it wasn't really that packed, and it smelled weird anyways, and it took forever, and they were out of everything that, like, hot chocolate. How are you out of hot chocolate? How? And then so we looked at my mom, and I was like, looked at the waitress. I said, thank you for your time. We're going to escort ourselves out of the building. I was so I wasn't upset of that, but it waited like 5 minutes for anyone or longer for someone to come over when there was like 3 people sitting in that place. Oh. And that's another frustration too. You finally pick somewhere. Again, like I said, service is awful. The food is awful. The smell did not help.
The smell's awful. But all of it's bad.
I have a solution. Use a solution if you're cooking dinner. Oh, I forgot to lay the meat out. Guess we'll have to go somewhere. That's a good one. I think that's hilarious, and I'm going to try that.
I actually want to try it, too. Josh, don't listen to this.
Yeah. The second solution I've seen is someone has created all of the restaurants in their town on a pinwheel. And then you get in the car, and you flick the little spinner, and whatever it lands on is where you're going to eat.
They should make an app for that.
They probably do.
Well, if they don't, we need one.
We should probably make one so we can quit our jobs.
Yeah. Why did I tell everybody that now? Anybody that writes code, can you DM us?
Which really, you can make them yourself, because when local places do those giveaways and you type in the name, I think you just like Google like a spin wheel or whatever they're called, and then you can do it yourself.
Ooh, I like that idea.
Yeah, but then unless it lands on somewhere and you're like, oh, I don't really want that.
Yeah, what happens then? You just spin again?
Spin again till you find
Maybe
somewhere you
best
want.
out of 3 spins?
Yeah. Rock, paper, scissors with your whoever you're
Yeah.
with or your family. Put 2 people in charge. Make them team captains if you're with a bunch of people. That's where we're going.
I like that.
Put the restaurants in a little jar. Pull out one. Or like the popsicle sticks. This is where we're going.
I like that. I've also seen that for meal ideas for like dinners, like cooking dinners at home. You have like the recipe card on, like you write out the meal on a recipe card,
Yeah.
and then you have it in a recipe box, and you just like randomly pick one, and then you just go with that. But I think there's some planning with that, so I also feel like that's kind of hard.
I have the other day, actually we just made this last night and it's really good. Is you ever buy meat and you're like, oh, I'm going to get like, I don't know, we never get chicken legs. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to buy some chicken legs. Why? I don't know. What am I going to do with chicken legs? I'm not bred in that crap. And then I laid them out because I was like, we should probably eat these. And then I think, what am I going to make with this? So I TikToked easy meals for chicken legs, and the best crock pot meal, easiest thing came out, and we had it last night, and is probably now one of our like top 5.
Really?
So
Wow.
TikTok,
Yeah.
easy recipe, because you don't have to jump through the hoops of if you go to Google and you know how you get on those websites, and they have a whole blog about their life, how their kids threw up last week, how the dog broke its leg, and then 20 minutes later you're scrolling, you finally get to the recipe. So TikTok is
Or there's like 5 ads, and then you click the jump to the recipe, and it doesn't still take you to the recipe.
yeah.
I agree, though. I actually, so more recently than not, we've been trying to do like more high protein meals at home, and then I've been trying to like meal prep a little bit, like maybe like 2 meals or whatever, and just that way I have lunch for the week. That's easy. I can just grab it out of the fridge. It's already pre-portioned. So I follow this guy on TikTok named Zach Cohen, and he is a nutritionist, and he doesn't always have like I mean, people like hate on him because he'll use like Velveeta, or he'll use like things that are supposed to be like not healthy. But he's like, I want it to taste good.
Yeah.
It has it like we figure out ways to add nutritional value. The macros are all balanced. He tells you the macros at the end of the video and how to make it. And
She's
it's all
very deep into this. I love that for her. For me, I will be eating McDonald's fries.
with extra salt.
With extra salt, and you better give me 3 packets of ketchup.
But it is like really affordable too. So he'll post
That's
the
good.
price. He'll tell you like what you need to buy, and he does a lot of his shopping at Walmart. And then he'll give you the recipe, how to make it, and then the macros at the end. So he made like the $1 million spaghetti, but instead of using Alfredo sauce, he uses like cottage cheese, low-fat cottage cheese, milk, and Parmesan cheese and garlic, and like you blend it and you add that in with the other. It actually tastes really good. I make it like almost every other week now.
Cottage cheese person freaks me out.
But it's just a sauce then.
If
Like
I
you
don't
blend
know.
it up. You wouldn't even know it's in there.
And this is why Hannah is going to outlive me by many, many, many years. I do make my own spaghetti sauce. I will say that. I don't just buy like a jar of. So give me some points there. But
Oh, that is good because I don't do that.
other than that, I mean, the things that I'm putting in my body, what I'm eating, is probably not healthy. But it's so expensive to buy healthy too.
It is, and it's
And
more
eat
expensive to go out.
healthy if you got to eat.
That's what I was just gonna say too.
Except at Cracker Barrel when you get that veggie plate.
Oh my gosh! And Cracker Barrel is so good, and it's affordable. Honestly, Cracker
Yes!
Barrel is probably one of the most affordable like
It
restaurants.
is. You go in there, and me and him just said that. We ate for 2, and you know, you're like, he gets like the meal, the whole blah, blah, I do the
Big
little veggie.
portions.
Yes, and it's like for 2 people, like $20, and that's with us both getting like a soda or a pop.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
There's a place that I like to go to, but they keep raising their prices, and it used to be like you eat for 2 and it was like $40. Now we eat for 2 and it's like $65. So we only go there for special occasions now.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah.
You know, I should not admit this. I don't
love
even
when
know if I want to admit this or not.
We can always cut it. We're not
So
She does the editing. She's going to cut it.
my husband and I tallied how much money we spent in 1 month eating out.
Is it bad?
It was so bad. Do you
Is
want
that
to guess
with
what
your
one?
kid eating, or you just usually eat
Well,
off your plate?
sometimes with him, we usually get him like a kid's meal. because he does. If most of the time he'll do pretty good and eat. Do you want to take a wild guess?
How much you spent for 1 month?
Mm-hmm. And this is like takeout, DoorDash, going out.
DoorDash is so expensive.
DoorDash
Please
is
stop DoorDashing.
Yeah,
That is
we've
your number
stopped
one.
now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if DoorDash is involved, you're probably spending like $500 a month. More? 700? 1,000?
Keep going.
1,000? More than 1,000?
Yeah!
Hannah!
It was so bad.
It's because of DoorDash.
I think it was like $1,200, and we're like, oh my God, we ate our paychecks. Literally, we ate them.
But you know what? It's okay. Treat yourself.
But so
But don't treat yourself to DoorDash anymore because that is
No.
the worst. It's so
also,
expensive.
our rule now is like we eat at home. We will only eat out once, maybe twice a week now.
Yeah.
Like we really cut back a lot, and we've
weekends is a
saved
little bit
so
more
much
of what we
money.
like
What?
the weekends, I would say more, or like maybe once.
Yeah,
during
like
the
we
week.
do like Friday or Saturday. Like
Or,
we do.
If we go to Albert Rodeo, we're splitting a fajita because it's so much anyways. Like
Yeah.
we tend to split food. I think that's a good money saver too. Or if you have kids and they're littler, like my nieces.
Really?
I'm sorry, you're not getting kids meal.
I'm going to tell you what my husband says when I ask him to share something with me. Joey doesn't share food.
Who the heck's Joey?
Our friends.
We'll have a conversation with her husband after this episode. Anyways, we hope that you and whoever you're with that you're eating can come to a conclusion, or if you're making dinner, try it some new ways.
Yeah.
Create a little spin wheel, or you can do it on
Yeah.
your phone. Popsicle sticks, paper in jar, pull it out, rock, paper, scissors it, find out where you want to go.
Yeah, and if you're cooking at home a lot more, like we have done more recently, trying to pick a few staple meals that you really like.
Yeah.
And then just kind of rotating those out and sharing them. Like my sister and I have actually like a Word document going that like we share access to.
Oh, nice.
And we're sharing like our staple meals with each other so that we can mix it up a little bit. Some of them are just like really easy, like, you know, throwing chicken in a crock pot with salsa and then you do like tacos out of that or something. So it doesn't always have to be expensive. You can do that at home on your own, and it's just picking what that choice every single night or whatever is just that repetitive choice. It's really frustrating.
Don't make your hangriness worse. Make it better.
Yeah.
And find a solution. So, yeah. Well, stay tuned for next week's episode as we will dive into another submission video. And yeah, we hope you have a great week. We hope that you do not fight with your loved ones about where you want to eat or with your friends.
Yeah, and also if you guys can, maybe drop a comment with like your favorite recipe, because I would love that if we
or
could
how
share.
you decide where to
Yes,
eat.
or how you decide, because I think that it's such a tough decision, and obviously I don't have a lot of advice because literally it's an argument every day. So
she's spending
it's very
too much money.
Yes, and now the whole world knows. You're welcome.
Okay. She'll be fine. She'll financially recover from this.
Oh yeah.
Eat PB&Js for the rest of her life.
New year, new me. Not eating out.
That is on top of her list for that. But yeah, definitely comment below maybe some solutions that you have for this. We would love to hear other people's perspectives on that. And yeah, stay tuned. Follow us. Comment, like, subscribe on all of our platforms.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah.